That's right, this your boy, DJ Mix Mastermind from Pond the Block TV. This is Talk Your Talk Tuesdays. All right, tonight we have a big interview with Raymond Morley. You understand? Who is Raymond Morley? We'll find out tonight. Right here on Talk Your Talk Tuesdays. Run the track!
See me I spend too hard finna push drugs. Just look on the car where the artist I push down.
I know you're rich. This one called Drugs Money from Jonai. We shoot the video for this and we release it on Friday. Right now it's over 40,000 views on YouTube. Check it out.
Glocks, whips, cash, bitch, easy. Yo, I go on. See me I spend too hard finna push drugs. Just look on the car where the artist I push down. Oh yeah, we have it. Cause they never know we have it. Me drop a brick on the table, every man run. Them swear see a London Bridge fall down. But that's how we have it. Hey, yeah, we have it. When we are spending, we know watch how we are do it. Full of kicks like all of Jerry got beat. Them a talk, but we are the artists in the street. Dog, we make a girl a cheat. I bet them I know a girl a free. See me call and think I tie and stop a creep. I fit a fuck it and our best is stop a pay.
Hey!
I said she want a piece.
You know how we do it. We start the show and then we have to invite everybody in. So listen to the tune and let me get everybody popping in. I don't even got the show logo up. What's going on here tonight though? Yeah!
Them swear see a London Bridge fall down. But that's how we have it. Hey, yeah, we have it. Jay, the God and all the music make we famous. All the drugs we ship from Angeles to Vegas. Andrew Wallace, so you never heard of us. So we get to stay in the street like a murder was. No dark prison life and my thing. Have too much money for do the fucking bribe thing. Drugs money and me doing every chopping, yeah. Like a real kingpin, yeah. I spend too hard finna push drugs. Just look on the car where the artist I push down. Oh yeah, we have it. Cause they never know we have it. Me drop a brick on the table, every man run. Them swear see a London Bridge fall down. But that's how we have it. Hey, yeah, we have it. When we are spending, we know watch how we are do it. Full of kicks like all of Jerry got beat. Them a talk, but we are the artists in the street. Dog, we make a girl a cheat. I bet them I know a girl a free. See me call and think I tie and stop a creep. I fit a fuck it and our best is stop a pay. I said she want a piece of it, a piece of what? She say I slice off for the cake. See me I spend too hard finna push drugs. Just look on the car where the artist I push down. Oh yeah, we have it. Cause they never know we have it. Me drop a brick on the table, every man run. Them swear see a London Bridge fall down. But that's how we have it. Hey, yeah, we have it.
Never do something. One no sound never there. Never play one tune one they never hear yet. Level.
Yeah. You don't know, people. We gonna get some more people in the room right now. So we gonna drop this one here. So from the one and only. Oh, 1 second. the one and only Young Apache. Young Wild Apache. This one here coming from Jamaica. Penny Blaine, big up yourself. Done with the plan right now.
Hey girl, bend over and shake your bottom. Done with the plan with $1 million at the van. Halfway set on a road with a carnival champion Dan Perrier. I'm the down right now with the plan right now. $1 million day in the van right now. Ammunition with a can right now. With a pretty brown girl like the sun right now. Down right now with the plan right now. Step out, step in, girl a ball out. Whoa. Half-white sweater and Farragamo. Yeah, the star of the show. Down with the plan with $1 million at the van. Louis Vuitton for you see me sedan. Farragamo for you see you know. Never go broke, pocket ever full of dough. I'm the CEO and your TV low. You me on your stereo like Bambino. Chain them wild like Monticello. Young wild Apache a pro. I'm the down right now with the plan right now. 1 million day in the van right now. Ammunition we take on right now. With a pretty brown girl like the sun right now. Down right now.
One no sound never there. Me go play one tune one never.
Wait till winner. Yo, wild Apache. Let's run that one again. Penny Bling. Bigger yourself, boss.
Hey girl, bend over and
Shake your bottom.
with the plan with a million at the van. Halfway set on a road with a gun. If a champion and carry on. I'm the
Down right now, what they plan right now.
1 million day in the van right now. Ammunition we take on right now. With a pretty brown girl like the sun right now. Down right now with the plan right now. Step out, step in, girl a ball out. Whoa. Half-white sweater and Farragamo. Yeah, the star of the show. Down with the plan with a million at the van. Louis Vuitton for you see me sedan. Farragamo for you see you know. Never go broke, pocket ever full of dough. I'm the CEO and your TV low. You me on your stereo like Bambino. Chain them wild like Monticello. Young wild Apache a pro. I'm the down right now with the plan right now. 1 million day in the van right now. Ammunition we take on right now. With a pretty brown girl like the sun right now. Down right now with the plan right now. Step out, step in, girl a ball out. Whoa. Half-white sweater and Farragamo. You're the star of the show. Hey. Pretty brown in something like this and never have a brown in Smith and Wesson. Give thanks to the life that a blessing. Real estate, Bill Gates, where you depend. The Dan, the boss, the sauce, this, the class, 12 million cost. Chain round the neck, me a fly first class. I'm in hype and show off. I'm the down right now with the plan right now. 1 million day in the van right now. Ammunition we take on right now. With a pretty brown girl like the sun right now. Down right now with the plan right now. Step out, step in, girl a ball out. Whoa. Half-white sweater and Farragamo. Yeah, the star of the show.
That's right. You're tuning in right now to Talk Tuesdays. This is a big show tonight, you know what I mean? Because we have a special guest about to join us right now. We have the one and only Raymond. I have to bring him in here. How do I do this now? Okay, let me go. Yeah. So you don't know it's Talk Tuesdays. We have the one and only Raymond. Are you there, sir? 1 second. You hear me?
What's going on?
How you doing?
Glad to be alive under circumstances. Definitely dealing with the new normal. Being a refugee seeking asylum, that's a different dynamics. But COVID-19 definitely threw the entire world into a whack. So just imagine what circumstances I deal with on a day-to-day. But I'm alive, and that's the best part about it.
Well, we'll dive right into that part yet. You know what I mean? Because you know the big caption on this thing is, who is Raymond Morley?
In a nutshell, Raymond Morley is a Bahamian, born and raised, tiny country, but an even smaller island. When we get down to the dynamics, I'm even from a smaller family. So my circumstances and my upbringings probably made me as resilient, as determined as I am today. So I was raised by a single mother, the middle child of 3. Besides that, I tried to be hardworking, industrious. At the moment, I shared my ventures and my ideas with you in passing. But what I would like to be is a captain of industries. Coming to Canada, and when I stepped across that border, man, just having that vision and that goal from a child and actually seeing the possibilities, I could see it coming to fruition.
Okay. So I know you from before. You understand?
Yes,
I
bro.
know you
20
from back
years.
in 1999 when
20 years plus.
you was actually next door to
Bruh,
me
bruh.
in our
Tell me about
dorm.
it. Tell me about it.
You know what I mean? And for me, going to Cuba was hard in itself because I spoke no Spanish whatsoever. You understand? And that was my first time being in that type of environment. So I think like in terms of my situation and your situation that you're dealing with right now, it will be a close comparison. You know, entering a new country. You know what I mean? And have it
I can see
to
the
live there.
similarities.
Yeah, yeah. And have it to like
I can see the similarities.
yeah, have it to live there. You know what I mean? And like coming from my house, whereas I had everything given to me, and then have it to like fend for myself at like 16, 16, yeah, 15 to 16.
Bruh. Just imagine, first of all, I don't know. I'll try to bring the parallel of the comparison to going into Cuba.
Yeah,
I could have speak a little bit of Spanish because of my upbringing and because of my education. I actually studied Spanish in high school.
yeah.
But coming to Canada, learning French now is almost pot boiled for me because comme ça, that Creole crossing over to that French, you have some similarities.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you dive into that whole French thing, I almost have like full on stories to tell. Like my name almost doesn't give me justice in Canada for so much different reasons. For one,
Okay.
my name is French, is Raymond.
Yeah,
So I go on the interview. And they waiting for this guy, Raymond James Morley.
yeah,
All right, cool. I step into the place now, bro. No lie, it's like 5, 6 girls just pop around the corner. They will see who this Raymond James Morley is, and they popping their head out.
yeah,
So check me out now. When they come and they try to figure out, like they come on, comment ça va? And I was like, all right, ça va bien, comment toi? You know,
yeah,
speaking my French as best as I could. And when they start getting to that real Quebecian French, and they figure out this guy can't speak French one bit, bro, they just throw up their hands and they're like, "What is this? What is this?" You know? And I was like, "Nah, bro, I'm in the process of learning." And they try to get everybody to understand that, hey, listen, I'm new to Canada,
yeah,
and my whole asylum seeking processes would come with some learning curves. And definitely French is one of the aspirations of mine. That's definitely a goal. So getting into the swing of things, right now my name isn't doing me well in Canada at all because people anticipate this guy who could speak French. If you got a name like Raymond James Morley in Canada,
yeah.
they figure you gotta be able to speak French. Come on.
Yeah, the
So,
same with me. They hear my last name and they think that I can speak
boom,
French.
you figure. So imagine open up your resume like with Pierre on the last end of it. Oh man, you in.
But I
And then they
but
start
I'm
speaking
Jean
that
Pierre.
French.
I'm not just
You feel
Pierre.
me?
I'm Jean Pierre.
Bro, you double it. Hey, you ain't going in single fold, you going in double fold. So they,
Yeah,
they, they pretty much figure, well, listen, anything you bring it to the table, I know French on the front end of that. You
yeah.
know? So it's almost like I'll give you the story. First week in Canada now, they give you like a whole list of things you have to do. And I understand it from this perspective. You have a lot of people coming into Canada for different reasons, but as an asylum seeker, to get out there and to learn, I think it's therapeutic. This is my opinion. I think it's therapeutic because you have to interact
Hmm.
and then you have to get to know the city. Definitely, that's a big deal. So now I pop up in this line. I don't know where I was, but it's downtown Montreal, and I was like asking. I just pop up with this guy, and I was like, "Hey, yo, what's going on here?" And he was like, "The fuck do I know?" And I was like taking the box for a sec. So this guy was like, "Bro, if you don't speak French, They don't talk to you. I was like, what? So getting into the whole idea of understanding the Quebec and the French is a real big deal in Quebec to actually learn French to the point that they actually pay you to learn French. And I was like, no, they pay you to learn French. They physically pay you to learn French because it's a big deal for them. So me now, right? I mean, that's like something like I would want to do. Definitely, if you could pay me to do it, bro, I taking it up.
Yeah.
So now, when this guy tell me saying, bro, you really need to get into the French thing, those are the kind of jobs that I actually started to go after. Those jobs that actually not only give you the opportunity to learn the French,
Mm-hmm.
but to actually interact with the French speaking people. So you want me to elaborate on the asylum seeking process because this
Well,
is like the whole
we
idea
are,
of
we are, we are get there. We are get there yet. You know what I mean? You could like start. You could like start from Bahamas. You're a Bahamian, born Bahamian. You know what I mean? Beautiful country. I actually wanted to go there for a long time now, but haven't gotten there yet. And I think it was more on my mind to go there from when we met because before that I didn't even know anything about Bahamas because I tell you I was 15. So I know hearing about these countries after meeting these people and then knowing that y'all guys speak close to how we speak. So you know what I mean? It was like, whoa, I gotta go check
I
this
mean,
place out.
yeah, I mean, being from the Caribbean, you would have your similarities. Definitely the cultures are close. I mean, so close. You actually have the same last names on certain aspects. Like which Caribbean country can find a Smith or a Johnson? So
Hmm.
those kind of similarities you will get throughout any Caribbean countries. So definitely you have your similarities.
So so tell us about your life coming up in Bahamas a little bit about that.
Well, I'll give it in segments. Growing up, definitely what I would want to highlight is the communities where I grew up. Imagine a fishing village and being able to just on a summer go in the backyard and you just like have ocean
Hmm.
to survive, not a drowning, to survive, not an accident, bro. Under the circumstances, how adventurous we was as kids,
Yeah.
to be here as a milestone. And I can imagine any Caribbean country the way we would depict a 5, a 7, or maybe even an 11-year-old in the summer. Bro, we dive in.
Hmm.
If we ain't fishing, bro, we actually going in the ocean. And when we talking about going in the ocean, this is like ocean. This ain't canal or this ain't beach. So
He
those are the kind of things.
we we um we getting like some like review on your audio and it sounds like you dipping. You could sometimes you could barely hear
Tell
you.
me,
I'm not sure.
can you hear me now, or if I need to put in some different air plug?
I take that's what it is, cause the microphone tripping in and out sometimes. We do apologize for that, people. We just trying like a variation here now, see what works best. All right, we lost video now. We lost video connection. Raymond, you there?
Are you good? You can hear me?
I can hear you, but we can't see you now. Wait. Okay. I don't know. You hit something. Did the video?
I can hear you loud and clear. The speakers coming in better. I don't know what's going on with the video, but
Hit you
this my
hit you video icon and then hit it back and see what happened. Uh, okay. Hello? Okay, here we go. Let's get him back on here now. There we go. Yeah.
better.
Yeah, we could see you and talk again. Let me see.
We good?
Yeah, we can hear you good now.
Testing, 1 2, testing,
Yeah.
1 2.
Perfect.
All right, good.
All right.
I guess it was the headphones.
Yeah.
So
Maybe-
picking up, just to imagine how adventurous we was as children growing up. I talking about this could be like throughout any Caribbean country. Besides that, I always wanted to start my own business because I understand being industrious is a part of not only growing up, but being able to earn money and take care of responsibilities. That's a huge deal for me.
Yeah.
And if that can't happen as an adult, be pushing 40 or be in our late 30s, and if it's being impeded deliberately, we need to bring that to a halt. Definitely, we could look at circumstances where coronavirus would have put a wrench in the wheel of the economy for the entire world. But when we look at deliberate acts that were being perpetrated against individuals pre-COVID-19, I guess COVID-19 gives everybody a sober awakening to say, hey, listen, we need each other when we want to develop things like economies and supply chains. Because how could I get a network going if I cut off trade or commerce? Those are the kind of things that I've been thinking about as a child growing up, and I could imagine. I mean, just thinking about it like this: summer's done, you have to go back to school. In 7th grade, you know what I used to do? I used to shine shoes.
Yeah.
It sounds demeaning, but imagine getting paid 25 cents per shoe if you're in the 7th grade. For me, I would come in with $2 to school and leave with about $10. So those are the kind of things that I started to learn about economies, definitely learn about commerce, definitely learn about trade, and definitely learn about money. So getting into adolescence and getting into adulthood, I would take the same lessons. And I think 2000,
Yeah, go ahead.
it would have been like 2000 or 1999 or 2000 when we would have met in Cuba together. And around that same time, I would have been on that same hustle or that same, I beg your pardon?
No, I didn't say anything.
I would have been, when we would have met, I would have been on that same hustle or on that same entrepreneurial drive or determination. Definitely, I don't know if you would have ever come over to our room, but when I was back in Cuba, what I used to do was record those video recorder tapes, and then we used to have like movie nights in the rooms, and that was a way for me to earn monies, but build camaraderie. And definitely, when you understand stuff that bring you together would be like movie nights, matinees, that sort of stuff. So not only that I know people use those kind of things like for a therapeutic approach or to bring a family-oriented approach to circumstances, but I look at it as an opportunity to earn some funds as well while in school. So all in all, I think my adulthood and my childhood would have been not parallel, would have been in comparison to actually probably prepare me for circumstances exactly what 2020 bring.
Yeah.
And it's a real circumstance, bro.
How old were you when you went to Cuba?
18. I
18?
landed in Cuba at 18 years old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were like some of the youngest ones to land there at 15.
Yeah.
All right.
I still got I got my bag packed. I'm a traveling man. I'm ready to go to Cuba right now. I know you
Yeah.
can see the bag, but the bag packed. Vamos Chando, Vamos Chando.
So I know a lot of people have on their mind like the caption that we put out there. Who is Raymond Morley? And you're on this show tonight because you have a real moving story. You know what I mean? Because at the end of it all, you had to make the decision to leave your country and your family behind to move to Canada for your own safety. And what would really push somebody to that limit to have to make that kind of decision?
All right. In 2012, the type of person that I am, I love backgammon. So before I go to a backgammon game, I hit my boy up and I'd be like, boy, what's going on? Should I come out? He'd be like, yeah, man, come over, we flex. Man, I pop out this night and my friend was like, bro, these niggas don't like you. And I was like, these niggas don't like me. I mean, it took me aback again because I was like, home, church, work, and pretty much that's all they do. So I was trying to figure out, like, reconcile what's going on. So in my mind, when everybody gathered around us, like, I pretty much started to give a story to the fellas them. So to move to what happened to today is pretty much hate and cussedness what would have drive me, because in 2012 was a significant time in my life where I started to really dive into an entrepreneurial venture, because I figured, hey, listen, this is a perfect time. We're not on the cusp of Facebook video yet, Facebook Live yet. This 2012, bro. So what I started as an entrepreneurial venture, if you saw the business license, it says specifically television, satellite, and PUT. That's like input data service station.
Yeah.
So it's like a heap and a long, huge dream that this poor kid out of a small country have to be coming up with, talking about owning satellites, bro. I mean, like, we got like 2,500 satellites in outer space. You want to own one of them. That was my dream. So I started to work on it. If you're leaping that far and you're using internet as a new technology, we looking at relativity now, 2012, bro, you know people monitoring that shit. Let's be real.
Yeah.
So now, when my boy hit me up and he's like, bro, these niggas don't like you, I tried to reconcile exactly what he could possibly be talking about. And what I was doing back in 2012 and the people who I was talking to, definitely they been coming to the Bahamas for years. This young guy who's suddenly talking about these highfalutin things that are astronomically out of space ideas, we need to check this dude. So 2012 culminated into 2016, where the assault actually took place, is because it came to a boiling point.
So you was
it was like a fever pitch.
So you was making a substantial amount of money in that time?
At this time, I was pretty much working for companies, established companies. So as a career-oriented person, I figured this is a perfect time. You have established earnings coming in. I don't have to go to a bank to get money because I'm making money. I'm earning money. I could pump my own resources into my ventures so far, and then I could invite venture capitalists. That's where the issue comes in. When I started reaching out to those persons that I know are able to fund and have the knowledge and the backing to make this thing, I talking about skyrocket, bro. We talking 2012 now. The things that I read about, that I did my research on, it was like, you know what? This is actually feasible. This ain't apps yet. I figured now, if I had built a website back in 2012 just to facilitate what I was explaining to these people, it would have been better. But 2012, bro, we in 2020.
Yeah.
So if I had done anything in comparison to a website or an app, I pretty much wouldn't have been in the position in 2016. Definitely, I wasn't at the speed yet. So now 2016, I'm at that speed, and everything is at the fever pitch because resources are thin, and I'm at my wit's end. Now I'm at a point where I'm trying to use those things that I know are able to be used: collateral, uh, property, cars, assets, those sort of stuff.
Your
And I'm
stuff?
reaching out to people. I beg your pardon?
Your stuff that you.
My stuff, my
Okay.
stuff, my stuff. Nobody else's stuff. So I'm reaching out to people that I know are able to actually validate and give credibility to not only the business plan, not only to the assets that I do have that have liquidity behind it. Bro, I'm not talking a working adult with value. Bro, I talk to CEOs and I'm telling these people, bro, I'm ready. And they like, you know what? I think you are. You need like 2 more years. I'm like, all right, then I'll get those 2 more years under my belt, and I continue being that entrepreneur, just getting in the little hustle hours, getting the little contracts here and there, just
Yeah.
to build the credibility for the bigger idea, because you need the credibility.
Yeah.
You figure?
Because the,
So
the amount
now-
of money the people gonna back behind it, they need to know that
Precisely,
they're
bro.
not wasting
And
time.
anybody doing business on a level would look at a few things. You know what? I don't think he's ready yet, unless you like that. I don't want to call names, but unless you like that person who would develop that app and nobody else could actually resist it. Now, if I had come from that website app approach from 2012, I would not have been in this position. Maybe even in 2016, if I had just sat back and just build the app or build the website, I probably wouldn't have been in the position. But because I thought, you know what, I need to start doing it from a capital standpoint. And when I started to reach out to those persons who have the, I'm not talking the resources. I'm talking those persons who have the clout to say, you know what, you're taking Raymond a little too hard. You all need to ease up. Not only ease up on this dude, but you all need to do right by him. That's a big problem, bro. You're talking about an adult with kids. What kind of example would you be telling them after you beat him or assault him over the head with a bat to his children? That's a big deal. I mean, 2016 versus 2020, for me to still be complaining about the same thing in a way, you have to be doing like perpetual nonsense to cover it up. Now, back in 2016, here's the place where I was. Bro, I need to get this done, because not only are the persons that I'm reaching out to getting weary and cold, but my idea is lingering. And while other persons are coming up on their ideas, they may be tapping into my little what was it called now? IP, my intellectual property. And that's important, because I go into this guy, I go into this guy, and I go into the other guy, and I'm showing them all my artillery.
So
and
they get
and
you
they're like,
ideas
"All right, dude."
and then going with it.
I mean, at the end of the day, you ain't giving me no funds in the business, and the business ain't coming off the ground. What you doing? What you doing, bro? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, I have to start asking the questions like, what you doing? So I had to take some drastic measures, and the drastic measures that I took pretty much would have been like, you know what? You went over the top. No, I didn't go over the top. I was at a fever pitch and at a point where it was like you could laugh at me at my calamity without helping me in my calamity. I have to bring it to a point where I have to make it relative. Bro, we are all in this together. Not only did I born and raised on an island where I tried to make the investment, but I made investments in that same island that was significant enough to say, you know what? You got to give him a try. Not only that he has already proven himself in his initial investment, but he has made a substantial investment. So you got to give him a try.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point where I am. So when we toss around names, or we say here are the emails that I actually sent out to those significant people who could have with a stroke of a pen or even with a phone call say, you know what? No. What he needs, you need to give it to him. I'm not talking carte blanche, but it would have gotten to the point where, after you done beat a fellow over the head and he's still coming behind you. Hold on. After you beat him over the head, he's still coming doing the due diligence, the protocol, and the softy. So I come softy, get beat up, then come softy again. So I had to seek asylum. I mean, there's more to it, but in a nutshell, that's how the process went.
So you said you went ahead with your approach, and then they put you on the arrest. Then they beat you up, and then
All right, so
you still went forward with your ideas.
so in 2012, pretty much what I was trying to do is to get a network of people together, not only to validate the idea, but to bring some credibility behind it. So this would have been people in China, this would have been people in the United States, definitely people in the Bahamas. So one person that I thought would have been good for it, she was a bit younger than I was, but definitely she had the brains, she had the capability, she had the wit, and she was riding with the idea. She felt it. So I said, hey, listen, we got to do this. So we started it. As we progressed in it, I saw her getting wary, but I don't know why she was getting wary. Because we already built the business plan, the ideas. We got emails back from credible suppliers or potential people that we could be suppliers to or vendors.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, you know what? It's not we aren't getting the positive reactions. I'm thinking about the naysayers in the background who might have been tweeting her ear. So fine. As things dwindled down, I still chugged on maybe by myself. And when I saw those persons who said, you know what? Yes, I go with you, didn't go with me. I'm carried on because I knew it was something that is not only viable. I had a business license and I had a business plan in hand at that point. So 2016, after getting a letter, a call, and an email, just a letter in writing. I talking about a physical letter, an email and a call telling me to meet a person at this particular place. It was like, yo, dude, nobody meets at 5:30. I was like, I'm just getting off at 5 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So if a person's telling me to meet them at 5:30 at a place like where I supposed to meet them, obviously they making special provisions. I'm thinking a little arrogant at this point. I'm thinking as an entrepreneur, you know what? Executive privileges, 5:30 meeting. Bro, I wait 6:30. The rain come down. Jump in my car, the car can't slide. Yo, what's going on? Frustrated at this point. So the next day, walking in the place, and I asked the people, listen, I need to talk to this dude. The dude in there, blase. This is like the second week I'm trying to get this dude. So I took the phone that I had in my hand and I stuck it in my pocket. Nothing more, nothing less. So the security guard, he looking at me like, dude, you just put the phone in your pocket? And I was like, I looking at him like, you know, and I just walked out. Sat in the car for a while and I'm like waiting for this guy to come to me so I could explain to him, hey, listen, you need to go call that guy upstairs because right now I have some potential investors who getting very and cold on a real big idea. So I need some, at this point, executive courtesy. What I thought I was going to get yesterday or the day before. So now that never happened. Days passed. I got arrested. Now, this is when the stuff took place. So I got arrested.
But how you got arrested? Like they just came and arrest you?
This I mean, pretty much they pulled me over. I was downtown doing business at the time I got arrested.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, if you have to know Freeport, so downtown, the courthouse, the police station, and where doing business is like walking distance. I mean, it's not a far distance. So they arrest me exactly in the jurisdiction of downtown. So now they walk me across the police station. This is like 10 a.m. in the morning. I'm out doing businesses. I'm trying to canvass businesses. Hey, listen, mom, do you need any installation done, electrical panels, any fixtures, any renovations. This is what I do from like 9 a.m., 8:30 from the morning, straight through. So 10 a.m., they arrest me, put me in the cell. Now I in the cell now, bro. I'm talking, but this a guy. They took off my necktie because I had on a necktie. I'm like what we call churchy dress because I'm out doing business. Take off my necktie, take off my belt, so I'm just left with my trousers and my shirt. Put me in the cell. So I definitely slept, woke up, slept again, woke up. I actually used the bathroom a few times. Never let me use the bathroom the entire time. All right, cool, bro. 5 p.m. I saw this guy walking past. Thought I knew him. I said, "Hey, bro, I need to use the restroom." It's like, all right, let me out. Went to use the restroom. He followed me in the restroom and he just started pummeling me. Hit my head against the wall, choking me. Bro, I passed out. He lifted me up, slammed my head against the wall again and put me back in the cell. And I'm like, combobulated. And I started screaming, "Help, help, help." 15 minutes later, he take me back over the cell again. And listen, there's video cameras in the cell who could verify it. And I'm like, bro, take me out of the cell again. This time he had a club wood bat object, blunt object in his hand. Take me inside the screening room and just started wailing me. At a point, I grabbed the object in his hand. Once I grabbed it out of his hand, a next officer came with a chair, hit me over the head. Everybody started pummeling me. I talking, bro, steel toe boots everywhere. If I make it up, it's like, bro, this is like the most far-fetched story anybody could ever make up in the world. Because there's nothing imaginary about police brutality, especially in the instance that it happened to me. I'm talking in lawful custody. You figure?
But
it's like
what was your initial charges for being picked up?
I was in charge. I was arrested.
But they had to know to come for you.
The guy was like, "You Raymond Morley," and I was like, "Yeah, I'm Raymond Morley." He's like, "You're arrested. We got you in the charge for stealing." I said, "Stealing? Me? Huh?" Bro, I'm so surprised this guy even know who I am because I've never seen him before. And if you understand Freeport is a small place, you would know police officers. I've never seen this guy before in my life. But the two of them, it's like, "You Raymond Morley? Yeah, man, come on. You lock up, man." I was like, "Lock up? What you locking out?" Totally forgot about the incident, what happened like 2-3 days ago, because I wasn't even thinking about that. So he took me in that 10 o'clock that morning, and I talking about like 5 p.m. that evening is when the assault take place. But that's not where the most egregious part. That happened on a Tuesday. 9 days later was the first time I saw a medical physician.
So you was arrested.
Professional.
You was arrested for 9 days?
No, I wasn't arrested for that. Well, technically, I was arrested in police custody, what they call Central Police Station, for 9 days. Yeah.
Okay.
But I was detained for, I think, 6 weeks after that inside a mental institution. So he would have assaulted me one day, put me in the cell, took me back out, do it again, assault me again, and then 9 days later is when they actually put me before a medical physician. And this medical physician was actually supposed to be telling them, "Hey, listen, this guy is actually, he needs psychiatric help." Hear me out now. The document that the doctor was supposed to certify that this guy needs medical help, I have this in email. It says he is not crazy. I kid you not. I have it right now, and it would sound far-fetched, but the gentleman is actually a good friend of mine. And it's like, when I saw him, I was more embarrassed to be inside the situation until we had a conversation. It's like, bro, I've never even thought of seeing you in a situation like that. It's far from me. And I think it's far from us as a society for stuff like that to even continue. Here's the dynamics and how I look at things. Jokingly, I said it in the most common way. I said police officers should stop watching football. I said you can't celebrate with people who win and you beating and you murdering or you maiming them or abusing them on Sundays. That's sad. It might sound comical when I say to stop watching football, but those are the kind of sports that actually make the biggest impact. When NHL said, hey, listen, we're going to actually stand on the side of those NBA players who boycott, that sends a clarion call to anybody, any president, any CEO, any founder of any organization, whether it be non-profit or for-profit. When a 99% white conglomerate says or organization says, hey, listen, we're standing with those guys who are predominantly of a lesser hue than us or of a minority, we're going to stand with them, that sends a clear message. So when I say people like inside my country who are CEOs and who are presidents should supposed to stand up and say, hey, look, you know what? That's wrong. Not only that it's wrong, but it's wrong to do it to a person that you should have known from a child, that have children, that has made a significant investment. I'm not talking Christian spiritual. I'm talking just as rudimentary, as humble as things come by. Bro, I had a briefcase filled with documents to say that, hey, listen, this guy is actually doing business. Even if there is a grievance somewhere, I ain't gonna touch him. You know why? We know them fellas is be doing a bunch of foolishness. So why would we go ahead and beat him with a bat and we wouldn't beat the other guy with a wet noodle? That's not fair.
That sound like a real rough thing to go through, man. And I happy to see like you actually survive from that. But also
Man, considering it, I don't think that was the challenging part. The challenging part was the post situation. Imagine the assault. I dealt with that. Imagine being sent to a criminal institution an institution for the criminally insane. Dealt with that. Came back and tried to reform and rehabilitate and definitely reconcile relationships and maybe even friendships. Bro, it's strange, and it's a strange when people be like, you know what? You know his personality or you know his reputation, but you wouldn't side when you see him doing right. But you quick to side when you see somebody else criticizing for doing wrong. I think that's hypocritical. Besides it being
that's human.
hypocritical,
That's human nature, though.
yeah, I say besides it being hypocritical when you go to a deliberate point, like when you see a person been through something so severe and try to reconcile things with their life to work, maybe even through other institutions. But if you see somebody actually progressing, let's not wait for 2020 and the COVID-19 to get that sobering moment to say, you know what? Yeah, we need family. It's supposed to be a conversation about family every day, not just Sundays, not just over meals. A conversation about family is like those kind of things where the mafia be like, you know what? We ain't touching families. You don't touch wives, you don't touch kids. We don't do that. How we get so lowered where the standard even in there where we start to inject ourselves in families, where we start to inject ourselves in the wives, and we start to inject ourselves in the kids. That's like a COVID before a COVID. No. We need to like digress on that foolishness. That's like too far fetched for us, especially when we're talking about small societies like coming from a Caribbean nation. Those things are deliberate, bro.
Well, we coming to the end of the show today.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Well, I'm very happy that we had you on, and I hope everything like works to go far for you from here. And and that you were able to like reunite with your family and and go forward from there, you know, in a positive light.
Bro, I'm looking forward to it. Definitely, every day is a work in progress. Being in a new country, being in a new dynamics,
Yeah.
um, it's like changing. But I chug along every day. I get out,
Yeah.
hustle, work hard. Um, Definitely, my intent is not to stay cool, not to go hungry, not to sleep on the streets. That's priority number one.
Yeah.
Because coming into Canada, one thing that I was definitely not concerned about was if I was actually going to live. Because I'm telling you, my whole step to come into Canada was on faith. And that may be a far-fetched idea. That may be a far-fetched thought for anybody, but I've proven it from the interactions that I've had. If it wasn't divine, call it luck. I call it divine. But for whatever it is, I'm here because of a bigger purpose, and definitely is not because of me. And when I say that, I say that in the most humblest fashion, because when I walk across that border, I'm talking about, bro, this guy stopped me at the border with a gun, and he had a gun on him, but he was like, Aret. And I'm like, bro, Aret, I'm going straight forward. I know you say police and all that different nonsense, bro, I going straight forward. Then he started speaking to me in English, and he's like, hey, yo, I'm telling you to stop, and you just keep walking. I say, because I don't speak French. He say, hold on, wait a minute, I'm a police, plus I got a gun. If I'm talking to you in French or in English, you stop. I say, all right, I got you. He say, where you going? I said, I'm going to Canada. He say, well, you're in Canada. Do you have a... Then he was like, you're under arrest. I say, for what? For entering Canada illegally. I say, okay, let's go, bro. So that was my initial walk over into Canada, and that was a story in and of itself, bro. Listen to me. I tell you, I don't know if I told you in person, but definitely what I mentioned to somebody else is when I put a title to the book is The Boy That Made It Into Heaven, is because of my initial interaction. It was definitely a story, bro. I talking about, man. It's like baguette. You get baguette. Airport. You get airport for real. Yeah. So it was like a real surprise.
Yeah.
The greeting, the warming. I'm not talking the society. Definitely, I'm talking about the initial interaction with the people at the border. They understand the process.
Yeah.
Canada's been doing this for 400 years. And imagine a conversation I had with a friend of mine. She's from Nigeria. I was like, so you come into Canada, how was it for you? She was like, coming to Canada is different. I wasn't expecting it to be so developed. I said, you wasn't expecting to be developed? It took me aback. I mean, certain things take me aback because of how I think. I'm thinking Nigeria, 300 million people. Canada, 37 million people. You should be a little bit more developed. That's my thinking with 300 million people. But her thing is, you know what? We in Nigeria, we ain't doing what they doing with 37 million people. With 37 million people, they sending people into outer space. They being astronauts. They digging for oil and for minerals, and they actually exporting it for money. So they putting their priorities in different places. So you see how Africans are actually doing themselves in compared to a country like Canada, G20, with lesser population, and they're doing a bigger deal in the world. So I try to reconcile my mind and my thoughts and my thinking with the interactions with the people that they come across with daily, and it's different. So the diverseness in Canada, I mean, for a person like me, bro, I don't know if you remember, I don't know, but in Cuba, it was wild for me. And being a young person and seeing all those people from different Caribbean nations, that was different for me. So imagine coming to a place like Canada where you have so much more diversity.
Yeah.
Yo. I talking about India? Like, nah, Sri Lanka. Whoa. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, man. For sure. Like we would like to have you back on again, you know what I mean? 100%.
I
And
appreciate you having me.
we
It's
could we
great
could hear
having me.
we could hear part 2 about the entry to Canada cuz that's all like a real story.
Yo, yo, hey, listen, that was wild. I talking about different. I mean, me in Kenya, 2007, I saw 250,000 people walking across the border, looking like ants coming across the border. Some South Sudanese coming into Kenya for as refugees. I talking about the same migrating path that animals use for hundreds of centuries. This is the same path that human beings were using to come out of Sudan into Kenya. And I actually live in it. For me, it's surreal, bro. I don't think people understand it from my perspective. Is like this. I didn't expect me to be a refugee or seeking asylum. And for anyone to be displaced, it is a disheartening one. For anyone to be away from their families, bro, it is disheartening. As an asylum seeker, the best thing I can do is ask for your support. And if you could ever render me support in any regard, I would greatly appreciate it. Pon the block, I'm talking about any other enterprises under the umbrella, any NGOs, any networking. If you have any writers, there's some people in the United Nations that I have a letter that I have already penned and I send out. I need to get those persons' attention because there's things happening, and from an asylum seeker's perspective and from a refugee, it has to be explained. And people have to understand that when you have a fresh air or a new insight, it has to be understood. I don't take my role as a refugee and as an asylum seeker lightly because there's too much things wrapped up in it. Injustice is a big idea that's wrapped up in me seeking asylum, and it can be clouded and it can be overlooked. I'll say it again. Me being an asylum seeker or refugee ultimately cannot be clouded and it shouldn't be overlooked. That's a big deal, bro. And for having me on, I appreciate you. 20 years.
Yeah, man.
I'm supposed to be on it long time.
Yeah, it's true.
Long time.
All right, man, Raymond. Big it yourself.
Yes, sir, bro.
And thank you again for coming on the show, man.
I thank you.
You're welcome, man. All right, people. So we had Raymond Morley on the show tonight. And we thank that guy for coming out, man. On the Block TV. You know we do it around here. So right now, we can get into to the video from Joe and I. You know what I mean? This video, we work on this video here. This one called Drugs Money. You understand? And this video dropped on Friday. You get me?
I must dedicate to this.
This dropped on Friday.
Yo, J God.
And already,
Jonah,
we soon at 50,000. Wait. Let me pull that up. Let me pull that up. You hear what they tell you? Soon at 50,000 views. And this only dropped on Friday. This whole video was shot in Cambridge, Ontario. You understand? This is the local artist, Joe and I. Straight out of Jamaica. Living in Canada. Let me drop this here.
I must dedicate to this. Yo, J God. Jonah, you know. Make them know what I'm going on, son. Clocks, whips, cash, bitch, easy. Yo, I go on. See me, I spend too hard for not push drugs. Look on the car where the artists are pushed down. Oh, yeah, we have it. Cause they never know we have it. Me drop a brick on the table, every man run. Them swear see a London Bridge fall down, but that's how we have it. Hey, yeah, we have it. When we are spending out, we know watch how we are do it. Full of kicks like all of J.D. got beats. Them attack. but we are the artists in the street. Dog, we make a girl a cheat. I bet you never know a girl a freak. See me call and think I tie and stop a creep. Have it a fuck it and her best is stop a pay. I said she want a piece of it, a piece of what? She say I slice off of the cake. So me I spend too hard, finna push through. Just look on the car where the artist a push down. Oh yeah, we have it. Cause they never know we have it. Me drop a brick on the table, every man run. Them swear see a London Bridge fall down. But that's how we have it. Hey, yeah, we have it. JD got an all the music make we famous. All the drugs we ship from Angeles to Vegas. Andrew Morley, so you never heard of us. So we get to stay in the street like a murder was. No dark prison life and my thing. Have too much money for do the fucking bribe thing. Drugs money and me doing every chopping, yeah. Like a real kingpin, yeah. Spend too hard finna push through. Just look on the car where the artists are pushed down. Oh yeah, we have it. Cause they never know we have it. Me drop a brick on the table, every man run. Them swear see a London Bridge fall down. But that's how we have it. Hey, yeah, we have it. When we are spending out, we know watch how we are do it. Full of kicks like all of JD got beat. Them a talk, but we are the artists in the street. Dog, we make a girl a cheat. I bet you never know a girl a freak. See me call and think I tie and stop a creep. Have it a fuck it and her best is stop a pay. I said she want a piece of it, a piece of what? She say I slice off of the cake. Me I spend too hard finna push through. Just look on the car where the artists are pushed down. Oh yeah, we have it. Cause they never know we have it. Me drop a brick on the table, every man run. Them swear see a London Bridge fall down. But that's how we have it. Hey, yeah, we have it.
Oh man, what I tell you, boy? Party Block TV filmed. Party Block TV actually record and edit that one. You understand? So you don't know that one is local. So we gonna drop another tune here. So now, you know what I mean? From Young Well Apache, you know. This one here called Dawn with the Plan. It's coming out of Jamaica. Penny Blaine, big it yourself. Dawn with the Plan right now.
Hey girl, bend over and
Shake your bottom.
with the plan with a million at the band. Halfway set on a road with a carnival champion Dan Perrier. I'm the Don right now with the plan right now. 1 million day in the van right now. Ammunition we take on right now with a pretty brown girl like the sun right now. Don right now with the plan right now. Step out, step in, girl a ball out. Half-white sweater and Farragamo. Yeah, the star of the show. Down with the plan with a million at the van. Louis Vuitton for you see me sedan. Farragamo for you see you know. Never go broke, pocket ever full of dough. I'm the CEO on your TV, no. You me for your stereo like Bambino. Chain them wild like Monticello. Young Wild Apache and Pro. I'm the Don right now with the plan right now. 1 million day in the van right now. Ammunition we take on right now. With a pretty brown girl like the sun right now. Don right now with the plan right now. Step out, step in, girl a ball out. Half-white sweater and Farragamo. You're the star of the show. Pretty brown in something like this and never have a brown in Smith and Wesson. Give thanks to the life that's a blessing. Real estate, Bill Gates, where they find. The Dan, the boss, the sauce, this, the class, 12 million cost. Chain round the neck, me a fly first class. I'm in a hype and show off. I'm the Don right now with the plan right now. 1 million day in the van right now. Ammunition we take on right now. With a pretty brown girl like the sun right now. Don right now with the plan right now. Step out, step in, girl a ball out, whoa. Half-white sweater and Farragamo. Yeah, the star of the show. Yeah, the star of the show.
Yo, Wild Apache people. Shit. What they say? Right now.
Yeah, the star of the show.
Down with it now, with the plan right now. 1 million and what the bang right now. Cheese! Oh. Yeah. Well, you don't know, that was Young Wild Apache. And that's pretty much the end of the show for tonight. Cheese on, boy. This show was rough tonight, boy. We had Raymond Morley on here. Raymond Morley from Bahamas. My boy. Like we see each other like 20 years. We went to school together in Cuba. You know what I mean? And to see my boy had to go through all of that there, you know. A lot of people don't understand, like, in times you gotta go through a lot of stuff in order to make it in life, you know what I mean? And I'm real sorry that he had to go through that situation. I don't know how I would feel if I gotta leave my kids and come to another country, like, you know what I mean? I don't even think I would go down that kind of way. I'm more brutal. So I gonna beat couple police. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, real thing. Jeez, oh man. Anyway, we over the time by like 7 minutes. Should I play another tune from somebody right now? Anyway, we'll play the Talk Your Talk Tuesdays theme song. And then we can be out to the building. Let's run it!
Hear what people talk, make them talk to the big mouth trouble, make them talk to the mouth. No, we don't hear what people talk, make them talk to the big mouth trouble.
When we tell the bad mind people them,
we don't give a damn what they for a talk. Talk it talk, can't bother me. Talk too cheap, can't buy grocery now.
Run your mouth,
can't move we.
They say.
Don't feel picnic. Drop reverse every time that we pass. Still can't ease the price man the gas. So talk it talk, can't bother me. Run the informer.
Now push it with her.
If you don't give a damn what nobody talk.
You see next week. Stay tuned, we'll have Joe and I live on the show. We can talk about this video. Drugs money. What we say?
Keep talking, can't bother me. Former tell like never see with the eye, but talk like them a key witness. Not to mention the chatty about girls and guys, but take them out of we business. Like them graduating maliciousness. Rush contaminate them like sickness. Drink stock, we name them licorice. That's why informer get dismissed. Call yourself for we name 24 from the club. The business where you hear or where you talk. Don't care about the news or the info you got. Can't pay bills or buy my pot, so talk it up, can't bother me. Talk too cheap, can't buy grocery now. Run your mouth, can't move we. Here say they say don't feel picnic. Drop reverse.
Poor Lucy tell me I gotta drop she ad, boy. I gotta drop she ad. Watch out for the mix for Rico Love coming soon.
Yo, you don't know that in no land. Big it up poor Lucy. Big up the agent, take this boy Tasha. That we're going on Ronaldo, YPG crew. When I know we're going on the Block TV. The thing set.
Everything proper.
Poor Lucy line, yeah, the real mother lover. Boost me up with rumbers, not gin. I get on like a young thing, but I too love a milk. A rumbers from poor Lucy.
One no sound never did.
You don't know that in no land. Big it up poor Lucy.
More, bigger yourself.
This boy Tasha, that we're going on Ronaldo, boy. And I know we're going on the Block TV. The thing set.
Everything proper.
Poor Lucy line.
That's a real mother lover.
Boost me up with rumbers, not gin. I get on like a young thing, but I too love a milk. A rumbers from poor Lucy. But I too love a milk. A rumbers from poor Lucy. And you can drink it with the women or drink it with the men. I find up a corner with the wickedest blend.
Hear the mix.
A rumbers from poor Lucy.
Watch it.
I bought a milk the other day. Poor Lucy. Jesus Christ, she rumba so sweet. This is one round punch that nobody can beat. Well, poor Lucy on the street. You can get a sugar daddy if you want a mango. The skin out fruit punch is cake like Rambo. Lucy kill them with style and fashion. You can get a passion fruit.
That's an island passion.
I do love a milk. A rumba from poor Lucy. I do love a milk.
Milk is the new flavor. That one is the pineapple coconut.
With the women or
get it with the bang.
A pineapple coconut with the
baby's blade.
A milk, a rumba from poor Lucy. Poor Lucy send a text. She pussy rap.
Ha
I will like sun net. You give me real talk and got me all set. You say you want that and you won't get here yet. Marcus pull up at your place. Yeah, I know that.
Ha
So what he think he ain't time when she grab it like he got and wash it straight in she room. Put it in she mouth and then she
Shove it, Tishy.
boom. Poor Lucy is a milk, a mama love the fuck. Poor Lucy is a milk,
A mama loved her.
and she could zag and cock it like
Any young thing.
I ping down the dicky in a
Wrestling ring.
A milk, a mama love the fuck.